And welcome back, YouTube. This is Booster Box Buster, here with a full review of Woodley Tree Adventures Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. This game is developed and published by the same company, that company being Chubby Pixel. Now, Woodley Tree Adventures is your traditional 3D platformer with some very bright and colorful graphics, adorable character design, and just a very peaceful overall feel to the game, as you could hear from the music and tell from the graphics. Now, before we get started, I want to share with you Woodley right here. And I gotta say, Woodley is a very, very adorable character. Whoever designed Woodley did a fantastic job. This character deserves a plushie. He's just so cute, so adorable. I just want to pick him up, hug him, and squeeze him. He is just cute. With that out of the way, the story of Woodley Tree Adventures follows Woodley as he is sent on a mission from the Great Deku Tree. It's not the Great Deku Tree, but he sure looks like the Great Deku Tree. On his task to return water back to the world. You return water back to the world by collecting 3 fairy tears per stage and placing them in the pedestal at the end of the stage, which in turn rejuvenates the world a little bit. To help you on your adventure, the Great Deku Tree hands Woodley a leaf to defend himself with and a cute little knapsack to collect fruit, or berries. The berries are necessary to unlock secret stages and leaf upgrades later on. They are not necessary to complete the game, so you do not need to collect berries if you just want to see the end of the game. As you can tell, Woodley has a limited range of movements. He can walk, he could run and jump, he could just walk and jump, and he could attack with his cute little leaf. So with all that out of the way, let's get in to some of the basics of the game that I like, dislike, and find interesting. Alright, so here I want to share with you just a little bit of gameplay while I talk about the game. So, the first thing I want to mention about the game that I enjoy is the fantastic graphics. This game looks like a high-end PlayStation 1 game, maybe a PlayStation 2 game even. Definitely has that Minecraft-y feel, but Chibified, if that makes anything. Like Chibi form. It's fantastic. The graphics, they're bright, they're colorful. This game, you'll be able to tell what's what just because of the great graphic design. And along with that, the character design in this game is also just so adorable. And I will share with you some enemy designs here. Like you got this little flame guy. Super cute. I want a plushie of him. This little caterpillar, he's not an enemy. He just kind of pushes you around like that. Super cute, looks like something straight out of Adventure Time. This little cat guy here, he's not so adorable. This thing right here looks like that guy from Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends. Straight out of Adventure Time, too. I can see this guy in Adventure Time. Ah, he just kicked me. See? Just such adorable character design. I love it. Another thing about this game that I find nice is I call this the beginner's platformer. This game has what I like to call a skill set of easy. You definitely don't need to be a veteran of games in order to beat this game. and there's no death penalty. You die, you go back, but all the berries stay collected, all the fairy tears stay collected, and all the enemies stay defeated. So the only thing you have to do is backtrack a little bit. And honestly, the game, it's not that far once you, if you're just going from point A to B and not doing the collecting all the berries or fairy tears. It's literally not that bad. It's kind of cool. So if you're new to 3D platformers, this is a perfect game to get you started with. Like I said, very easy design, no bosses, all enemies are taken down in one hit. It's just really cool, really nice. And another thing about the game is, for what it doesn't have a lot of music, but the music it does have is very serene, very nice, just very relaxing. This is a game that you could just turn your mind off to, relax, enjoy it, and just have some very serene, peaceful music while you play. Very adorable. Now, one thing I do find quite different about this game is the camera. It's static, it's one angle, you do not have free movement with the camera. However, you do have a little bit of movement, and that comes in the form of zooming in and out, and I will share that with you. You zoom out, you can zoom out a long ways. Like, you can get like an entire view of the stage. Or you could zoom straight up to Woodley's face. And that, I never understood why you'd want to zoom out so far. Now, I understand sometimes because you do actually, sometimes they hide berries at the very edge of the screen. But other than that, I don't know why it gives you the option to zoom out so far and so close. That one kind of confused me a little bit. Now, a couple of things I want to mention that I did not care for about this game. First off, it's hard to tell what's friendly and what's an enemy. I had no idea that they were friendly, so I was attacking them. Like this, and then all of a sudden a little message appeared above him and says, "Hey, why are you attacking me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to attack you." I had no idea that I'm not supposed to attack this guy. And he doesn't hurt me, he just kind of pushes me around. That guy looks like an enemy, I'm not going to lie. This guy over here looks like an enemy. As you can tell, he hit me. So, the caterpillar, you don't need to attack. He is not an enemy. However, I will say I was fooled by that, because that honestly didn't... That kind of looked like just a rock. And these guys right here, I honestly thought that they were just collectibles, but these guys are enemies as well. If I walk into them, I will perish. So that is something I don't like. Basically, the only way to really figure it out is through trial and error, just to see, is this guy harmful? Yes, he is. I will say this, I love the instant respawn. This game, you die, you come back like 2 seconds later. There's no loading screen, no downtime, no death animation. It's just straight reloading, put you straight back to where you need to be. And I like that. That's great for impatient people. However, with all that said, we come to the point of the game that is probably the biggest drawback of this particular game. And that is the length of the overall game. This game is short. I finished the main campaign, which is the only thing to do in this game. There's no, like, there's nothing else to do, in 2 hours. You will probably take, it's probably going to take you no longer than 2 hours to beat this game. Um, and that is a bit of an issue. I've played demos that have been 2 hours. So, a 2 hour campaign is a bit of a letdown. There is unlockable upgrades for your leaf and headbands if you collect enough berries. However, there's so many berries in a stage, you could easily have all the collectibles by the time you finish all the stages. Now he does get a cute little headband, which I have yet to figure out what it does. But just to see him in a headband is really cute. I just want to check something here. Which level was it? I think this one. So due to the length of the game, I really wish it would have done something more. I wish they would have added, I don't know, a time attack mode where you had to beat the stage in under a certain amount of time. I think that would have added, it's optional. You don't have to have it at part of the main game, but it's there for people who are completionists. Have a time attack mode where if you beat all the time attacks, you get in like a different color headband, that's something simple like that. Or have a hard mode where you have to beat the stage without dying, get all the fairy tears and beat the stage without dying, Literally stuff that it's recycled content where you're playing the same stages again, but it adds an extra time that you have to play the stage if you want to complete the whole game, completionist style. Heck, I would have even loved to have Woodley here be the star of a couple of mini games that they would have added, just like with a high score, and then have a leaderboard option or like a tiered medal list or something. I would have even loved that. Just something to keep you playing the game, because once you beat the game and get 850 berries, there isn't a whole lot of reason to come back to play it, unless you're a speedrunner. So, that is probably the biggest gripe I have with this game, is it's just too short. I really love the game's graphics. I really love the character design. The easy platforming I'm okay with because it's great for beginners. It's not meant for hardcore platforming people. And it's just a game to kind of turn your brain off and just relax and unwind with. However, the length of the game is the biggest griping point with me. 2 hours is not long enough to really enjoy the game. Because honestly, I was just kind of getting in the groove, and then game over. It's like, what? Ending already? The game's like, yep, ending already. And I'm like, oh, that was fast. The game's like, yep, that was fast. So, with that said, that's probably the biggest griping point. One other thing I do want to mention is these wind tunnels right here, or updrafts, don't always work 100% right. They sometimes send you flying off to the side, you sometimes get stuck in them, so those are another minor issue to the game. With all that said, here are my final thoughts. Woodle Tree Adventures. Like I said, great beginner's platformer, excellent graphics, just the most adorable character design, enemy design, music very peaceful, very serene, controls dead easy to learn. Camera's a bit wonky. The wind updrafts don't always act the way they should. And the really weird Joy-Con disconnecting every time I launched a game. Like I said, I don't know if that's just an issue with my game or if that's a widespread issue. Just something to keep in mind. But like I said, the biggest issue, the length. With all that said, if you want a very... if you can get this game on sale for a very slim price, I'm talking $2 or less, it's worth picking up. If it's much more than that, it's hard to recommend a game that's only 2 hours in length with no additional content to be had. But like I said, just it feels like it's a tech demo for the next game. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it's just like a setup for a bigger game. It feels like it's something that is just needs to have more built onto it. Which I hear the second game is actually much longer and much bigger overall. With all that said, my final verdict on the game is a solid 6 out of 10. If the game was longer, this game would easily be an 8, maybe even a 9. But the length of the game is just too short. I'm hoping that with the second game out, they might do some sort of bundle in the future where if you buy the second game at full price, you can get the first game for free, because that would probably be worth it. But until then, I have to give it a 6 out of 10. This game has a lot of great things going for it, a few technical issues, but the length of the game is just too short. So, final verdict, 6 out of 10. This is Booster Box Wester with a full review of Woodle Tree Adventures Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. A short and sweet game, but maybe a little bit too short. Signing out. Hope you enjoyed the video.